Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2024 Ford Mustang GT Premium. This one is finished off in race red. MSRP is just under $60,000. So we have a lot to go over for the redesigned Ford Mustang, and we're going to start off with what powers this GT. Underneath the hood, this has the naturally aspirated 5-liter V8. This model is paired to the 6-speed manual transmission, and it pumps out 480 horsepower, 415 pound-feet of torque. That power sent to the rear wheels, propelling this 3,800-pound muscle car from 0 to 60 in 4.3 seconds. Top speed is 155 miles an hour. Now, as we work our way to the exterior styling, you will notice that it does have some similarities to the previous generation Ford Mustang, but there are some slight differences. So let's start up front where we have the gloss black grille. Everything is blacked out, plenty of cutouts for a lot of cooling. There's also the cutouts down in the lower section, along with a sensor right in the middle. This does have distance pacing, which is a nice feature to see. We have some mesh in the corners here, along with the triple beam design for the LED lights. You'll notice the DRLs are doing a little dance right now, where this also has the sequential design for those turn signals too. And this even has gloss black trim accent on the hood with the functional heat extraction vents. So airflow can go right through the grille and exit right out of the hood there. Now, this GT also has a very nice set of matte black 19-inch wheels with the Brembo brake calipers. Those are finished off in red. There's the 5.0 badge, gloss black for the side mirrors, and it's even on the roof too, which is a nice trim accent to see. All of the window trim is blacked out. There's even some more plastic in the lower section for that side skirt. It matches the front lip very nicely. And from this angle here, it looks like a Mustang. It looks like the previous gen, especially with the lines on the upper fender there. With some minor differences, you will notice the biggest difference is the shape of this rear end here. Now, this GT also has a very nice gloss black spoiler. Same sequential design for the turn signals with that 3D dimensional shape. They are slightly different, however. There's a backup camera, and then the dual exhaust. There are parking sensors too, and then the reverse light right in the middle. Now, as we work our way to the trunk space, you can use that button up underneath, where it's virtually unchanged from the previous gen. A little bit of storage underneath if you'd like to use it, and you can even fold down those back seats to give yourself that much more practicality for this style vehicle. Now, as we work our way to the interior, we have leather on the door panel. There's all of your window controls, side mirror adjustments, a little bit of storage. Mustang is also down on the door sill, and take a look at these Recaro seats. With leather and stitching, they have a great design to them. They're also manual adjusting. So there's the bar up front, your height adjustment, your recline, and your incline. Now, you can also use this to push it forwards to gain access into the back. Now, these do have a 50-50 split, so that way you can fold half of them down if you need to. You're not really buying this to be a full 4-seater, but if you had to be in the back here, there's a little bit of space. At 5'10", I could ride around for a few miles, but it's mainly for additional storage space if you need to use them. And then inside now, my first time being in the manual, let's fire this up. And we can go over all of the tech for the all-new Mustang. So we have perforated and solid leather for the steering wheel with a flat bottom design, cruise control and adaptive cruise on this left side, along with different driving modes. Right side, you have volume, along with some steering wheel controls, your voice commands, and a few more to go through this digital gauge cluster. So let's start off with the different driving modes, because there are a few to go through. And you even get an animation, and then this is how normal is set up for the gauge cluster. Now, if we go into sport, you'll see another animation, a little bit different of a design for the gauge cluster itself. Then we can even go into track, where it will change one more time. It does take a little bit of time to go through this, where we have that tack all the way at the top there. But it is pretty cool to see, just depending on what you're doing for the day, what driving mode that you need to be in. The last two are going to be slippery and then custom. So you have a lot to go through. And then on this right side with those arrows, once we let this go back, you can scroll through all of this info right in the middle. So not a ton of info, but it's nice that you can look at those main vitals. And then the arrows are to go through your audio. Now on the left side, there's the headlight adjustments, trunk release, and some dimmer switches. And then for the infotainment system, this is the home screen where there's navigation, phone, as well as your audio. And on this right side, you can go into settings. So you can set up all this information just depending on what you'd like to see. You can even still continue to scroll through info on this right side, which is pretty neat. If we go back to home, we can go into features now, where you have some favorites. You can go into your driver assistance. And then last one is apps. So you can get into Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And then back on home, you'll notice everything in the lower section has stayed fixed. So we have temperature adjustments, heated steering wheel. You can go into all of your adjustments for the fan speed, even defrosters too. So it's a pretty easy system to go through. Air vents are underneath that. We do have a shortcut into this setting here for My Mustang, where you can go through the cluster theme. You can customize different modes with how you would like to see it. And then you can even go into some auxiliaries and even the track apps too. So you can go into your acceleration timer, brake performance, even a launch control, and your shift indicator. And then you have some other colors that you can go through, which is pretty neat. Now there's power and volume for the radio, favorites, hazards, as well as traction control and the front defroster. This does have a wireless charging pad with some auxiliaries. And then to put it into reverse, we'll simply pull the release, and then to the left and up, you have a massive backup camera. Now for the e-brake, pull it up once, and now the e-brake is activated. Push it down, and that is how you can release it. Now there's two cup holders in the middle, a little bit of storage with some auxiliaries in the glove box, or the armrest there, and then plenty of storage in the glove box. There's also a sunglass holder up top. And then as far as visibility goes, you have a large pillar there, but the rear glass is pretty large, so you can easily see over, and you can see over your left shoulder. You have your side mirror, of course, to help you out. And from second gear, here we go. Even taking that turn there, very smooth, feels very planted. I'm not going, fast for today, but for the normal driving for today's review, it seems very planted and fun to drive. I love this manual. I'm a huge fan of manual sports cars, so that makes the excitement even that much more higher, because I get to row through these gears. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel of the $60,000 Ford Mustang. Now you can go with some lower trim levels if you don't want to spend quite this much money, but I'm going to say on average, the new Mustang is going to cost right around $60K, especially for the premium here, which gives you a few more goodies. You can also get an upgraded exhaust, which this one does not have. So you can have the different valves for quiet versus track and go through all of that. So you can get some other goodies that this particular model does not have. And if you go with the automatic, you can get the remote revs, which I showed in my automatic Ford Mustang review. But this is nice. It's very comfortable and quiet. Like I mentioned earlier, it would be a great grand touring vehicle, as this is the GT, a grand tour, something you can daily drive and just get the best of everything. If you're only looking for one vehicle, this can pretty much do it all. It's a little bit more practical having the back seat space and the trunk. Yep, it just rev matched for me on that going into first gear. But it's pretty practical, so it's something that you could have as your only vehicle and make work. But that is going to wrap it up for the all-new Ford Mustang GT Premium. Once again, huge shout out to Mooresville Ford for providing this American muscle car for me today. Check out their website, that link is down below. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.